go. Here we go.
All right.
Let's do it. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Explore Your Faith Live with Rob and
Amy. I don't know what your screen looks like. I to the side on your screen.
I know, it's great. Go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rob, Amy, and the other
And Rob.
Yep. One of these weeks, we just need another Rob on here, or another Amy, I guess.
Ooh, there you go.
Ooh, mix it up.
I wonder if I know
Mm-hmm.
Find out. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna kick this week off with an awesome icebreaker question, like we do every week, and that is this is one we bring back every once in a while.
Ooh.
Because content out there changes so much that there's new fresh stuff that we're all reading, watching, and or listening to. So what are the best and worst things you've read, watched, or listened to lately? And I'll go first. This still remains true. The NBA playoffs, if you're a sports person, have been incredible. Really, really great games. Players having some awesome performances, things going down to the wire, going into overtime. Sports has lifted my spirits. Even in the bubble, even as weird as the sports are, something to watch. Yeah.
So I will follow that because it is a weird sports thing that I have been watching the Tour de France, which is a 3-week bicycle race through France. Sometimes they venture into some other countries, but it's half like travel show because they have helicopters showing all the castles and the countryside and it's all beautiful, and half a sport. And so they made it through their first week without any of the riders having COVID. So they're able to continue. Some staff members got it. So there's a little bit of question about what happens there. But so far their bubble is pretty well in their COVID bubble's pretty well intact. So that's been my kid, Blake, actually, my son just texted me and it had a French flag, a person riding a bicycle, and then a puking emoji, because my children do not enjoy watching the Tour de France.
Oh no.
And that's how they communicated this to their mom. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on being a terrible parent.
Yeah.
I try.
I love the Tour de France.
So
But I always miss it though. Like, when was the Tour de France? Oh, it was like 3 weeks ago.
Well, we're 1 week in, so you still got 2 weeks to go if you're interested.
Yeah. All right. I'll try it.
I hate to break it to you guys, but all those guys are cheating. Which
No, they're not.
begs the question: if they're all cheating, then is it cheating? You gotta go watch.
That sounds like a social thread discussion right there.
Yeah. That's for next week.
All right, we already got a third of the content guide, discussion guide. Fire.
Yeah.
Robert, what are you watching right now?
Let's see. I'm watching on Netflix. There's a show called Longmire, and it is excellent. It is excellent. It's a great kind of murder mystery type cop show, but they're in like the top Wyoming area, so it's small town, but they deal with a lot of interesting problems. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. That's good. I feel like I started that one, but I think I need to go back and upon your recommendation.
Yeah, I gotta say it took me several times to start it, because it starts kind of slow, but what's interesting, I think, is that they're right. That like where their jurisdiction is in the show is right up next to the Indian reservation, and so there's all of this crossover problems that they have to deal with, and it makes it really cool.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Good ideas for content, my friends. Very good. Let's move on to our first topic of the night. I need to speak to your manager. This comes from a Kiplinger article. I just like saying that word, Kiplinger. It says, taking a complaint to customer service can be maddening. No one wants to deal with endless phone trees, outsourced representatives working from inflexible scripts, automated responses, or chatbots. To breach the walls and successfully resolve your complaint, you must use the 3 Ps: patience, persistence, and politeness. So, to start off the discussion, what is the most epic customer service complaint story that you have? Go. And, our experience with this one, almost everybody has complained about the cable company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, that's my go-to problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah. What's the deal? Yeah. What? Yeah. Well, mine was really funny because it took me 3 weeks to get the internet, really consistent going. Otherwise, calls even like this would be dropping, and I have to restart Zoom. Yeah. And turns out I needed fiber wire, and with fiber wire, you have to have sometimes have a contractor come out and help with the line. They put the line in, and so I'd call every single day and say, "Hey, when are they coming out to put the line in?" And every single time they said, "Well, we don't have a schedule for that." And I said, "Well, can you call them and see when they're going to be out there? Even if you tell me it's going to be, a week from now, that's fine. Just let me know when it's going to be." And they said, "No, our system won't let us call over there." And I thought, in this day and age, you're telling me you cannot call somebody? I would not take no for an answer. It was so frustrating. Yeah. So anyway,
we can only Snapchat. That's
yeah. Sorry, we have to send we have to send letters through the mail to over there. So it's just our system.
we literally own the phone system, and
yeah. We use carrier pigeons.
Mine was with DirecTV, and it was over did we return these satellite boxes or not when we made a move, and it turned out they had sent the return boxes to the old house. And so I'm waiting to get these return boxes, and then whatever time period passed, and then they just charged me full price for all those boxes. It was $15. It was awful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I got a new mortgage payment coming up soon. This is fantastic. So I said, I'm just gonna get on the phone and I'm gonna keep asking for the manager or the supervisor until somebody just either hangs up on me or tells me I'm crazy. And I think I got 4 or 5 supervisors deep. And I'm not sure, they're just passing it to the guy in the next cubicle or what. It didn't solve my problem, but I'm like, okay, maybe I made them just as frustrated as I was. I know, not very Christian of me, but it was, I needed somebody to solve the problem. So I guess I excelled at, what are our 3 Ps? I excelled at persistence there. And if I struggled, it was with politeness.
Yeah. I don't know if it's epic, but probably the most recent thing that I could think of was we were going to go to one of those bouncy kid places where they jump on the trampolines and stuff. And I had a coupon, or no, there was or some special, and it was an early bird special. It said before 1, it's this price. And I was like, I wonder if that means that you have to get there before 1, or you need to it ends you need to leave at 1. So I called, I found the chat thing. Did I call or did I use the chat bot? I don't know. But I'm on there and they're like, no, as long as you get there before 1, you're fine. And I show up at 12:30 and they're like, well, this is only good for half an hour. I was like, no, but I called and I specifically asked that question. And she's like, well, that's just our corporate office.
Come on.
Well, and so I did the whole, and it's high schoolers manning the desk or whatever. So I had to escalate. So this was an in-person escalating to the manager. Ooh. And then and they honored the price. So it was good. We ended up getting there, but I'm non-confrontation. I do not like confrontation. Yeah. And it's just, it's terrible. I feel bad, but it's I probably would have caved if I hadn't called ahead of time, but I was like, no, I asked that one, there's something wrong in your system here. And so I'd say I had to make up my mind to be this is worth arguing over. So probably maybe the persistence type thing a little bit. I'm like, this is worth standing on the dying on this hill.
Yeah, exactly. So which P do you guys struggle with overall? My
patience, and what's the other one?
Politeness.
Politeness.
Yeah. Mine's probably still politeness, and only with, I don't know, something comes over me when I'm on the phone with customer support, and I just get increasingly frustrated because they try to weigh you out. They try to pull the 3 Ps on you.
Mm-hmm.
You try to pull them back on them, and then they double down, and then you double down, and then there is a point where I break, and I'm just like, "Give me your manager! Fix the thing!"
Yep. Yeah, probably for me is persistence. Is if I got to that jumpy place and they said, well, you only have half an hour, I probably would have been, my first thought is, oh, okay, well, maybe next time we'll leave.
There, kids.
Like, no.
We'll know for next time.
Because I anticipated the problem, and I was like, no. So maybe I think I was reasonably polite but firm. Persistent. I think it's probably patience, because there's a point where it's just like, to your point, Rob, is like they're set up to like frustrate you so often that you just give up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just want to get to the right answer. Like we all just want to get to the right answer, and the fact that the system is not built to get to the right answer just drives me completely batty.
Isn't that the purpose of humanity? We're all trying to get to the right answer.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll talk about that one next week.
Nice.
Yeah. See what it is. Okay, let's any closing thoughts? So we're all gonna work on our P, right? Wait, no, that didn't come out right. I'm gonna work on being more polite. We're just gonna work on being more persistent. And we can have more patience. Hey, look how that fell, and we didn't even plan it that way.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
Well done, team.
Well done. Pat yourself up. Oh, we're terrible. Okay, this next one's called Giving Up on God. The summary here is basically there's this article in Foreign Affairs, of all places, getting theological. But they pointed out that social scientists have found statistically that as a country gets less religious, it actually also gets less corrupt and has lower murder rates than religious ones. So, which is super interesting, because I think a lot of folks would argue, as they say in here, some folks say that the retreat from religion will actually lead to the collapse of society. But the data shows that the retreat from religion actually shows the world gets a little better. So what do you think that's all about? Heathens.
This one I remember having some data point questions, like when this as I think it's a pretty big claim to not have data support for this one.
Yeah.
The reason is because that there's such a broad stroke of other reasons why those problems would systemically exist.
Yeah.
In any country, in any in any culture. And so to pin that more religion means more crime, for instance, that I believe that you will have other data sets in there that would also reflect more poverty gap, more oppressed oppressed people without jobs, maybe, so you can start to or maybe larger per capita and I'm kind of just
as my research methods professor at the great California State University at Long Beach would say, correlation does not equal causation.
Yes. Yeah,
But
that
let's pretend it's
I'm a
true.
professor of that.
You're a doctor of many things, sir.
It's true.
Thanks. The doctor of pain,
That's right.
the guitar doctor. Yeah, we can go on and on.
We can go on and on and on, but we don't want to be here all night.
But let's humor the article for a moment. Like, why do you think religion, like being less religious, might actually make you a better person?
So I wonder if in religions that have an all-powerful deity or an all-powerful God, if there's an expectation that oftentimes the God will save you or the God will punish you or the God will do whatever, as opposed to needing to rely on each other. And so if you move to a place where God's not going to swoop in and save us,
Right.
then we need to work together to create a functioning society ourselves. And so at times I think that it's possible religious countries have like a scapegoat or religious and overall to say, hey, well, this is our out or this is our cause or whatever, as opposed to relying on each other.
Like you're poor because God has not favored you, or
right.
Yeah, or you have wealth and health because God is, you did something right, so God has rewarded you.
Yeah.
I think that could definitely be the case.
And that's a wondering. I have no data to support anything around that. That's simply a wonder. That's simply amusing.
Well, the other thing too, I bring in the spiritual but not religious conversation here, and that maybe in like organized religion, like if there's a large, like even a state-backed organized religion, that might be used to control people. But I think if you asked a lot of folks who say, well, I'm not religious, in countries that aren't religious but have really good social services and everything, they still might say, but I dig that Jesus guy.
Right.
Or I dig insert religious figure here. And what they were about, but I'm not about what organized religion is about.
Or like the Dalai Lama has a couple of he talks about you can totally be an ethical person without having a religion. But also I would be interested to know, like, I didn't see like Tibet listed in the article. Like, I'd be really interested to know, like, I don't know much about it. Like, is that like, how would they fall out in the scales of what was measured in the article?
Yeah. Good question. We'll send an intern on that. We've only ever had one intern, and she's not.
I know. It's like, are you going to send me?
You graduated. Now you're a board member. Best internship ever. So, but do you guys find that as your life has gotten more comfortable or better, we all, I think, own our houses, our kids are relatively comfortable, they get to go to the dentist and have braces and be healthy, we get to go on vacations, stuff like that. We seem pretty comfortable, and we're all in religious work, so of course we would never stray from being good religious people, or take that for granted. But again, humor me, do you find that as your life has gotten more comfortable, like maybe you rely on your faith less or take it for granted a little more?
I guess I don't know what rely on my faith means.
So maybe think about it more, go to it more when you're making a decision, when you're having a tough time. What's a good example? Like, I don't know. I tend to think when things are bad, I tend to think about God a lot more.
Yeah.
And when things are good, I tend to think about how awesome I am. A lot more. Look what I did. This is great. And when things are bad, I'm like, why are you doing this to me, God? Can't believe this.
Yeah. Well, I definitely am not crying for help every day. I'll say that.
Right.
And so I think the So I think my experience is going to be different than somebody who, would be, crying for help every single day. Hey, get me out of this situation. But, I think for me, my understanding of how my faith operates, it's something that's so a part of me and is so evolving as I go every day, that I think I'm just more excited to see, oh, wow, or, experience God in this way, or, so I think it's about discovery and about wonder for me.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's been trying to remember to be grateful and be thankful, but to also realize, like, when I'm in this position of privilege, and I have, there are a lot of people who do not. And I have a responsibility to use that privilege and to lean on my faith and the, like, okay, I've made it this far. Now, what am I supposed to do? Oh yeah, love my neighbor. Like, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, all of those things. And that can still be hard when you're comfortable, because it's like, well, I could play a video game this weekend, or I could go out and volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, or insert a good deed here. Even I can invite our neighbors over for dinner, and try to build community instead of, like, order pizza for the 7th time this week. So, and I'm talking in normal times, like right now, it's, I could go out and yell at my neighbor over the fence, like, hey, how's it going 6 feet away over there? Yeah.
Was that Home Improvement with the neighbor who you'd always see over the fence?
What was that guy's name?
Oh, shoot.
Was it Wilson?
Yeah, I think
that sounds right.
Yeah.
We'll call him Wilson.
Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was gave great advice. Love those 90s sitcoms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Total sidetrack. My brother the other day, I was asking him what he's watching. So what's the best thing you're watching right now? And he said, oh, wife and I just started, we're going through Family Matters again. And I said, oh, I love Family Guy. That's so funny. Like, there's so many episodes. And he's like, no. Family Matters.
Yeah.
TGIF.
Oh, yes. I was like, so Urkel and all that.
Yeah.
So, great show. It was ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we got one more. This one kind of ties into what we were just talking about. It's called Be Present. And this article from Psychology Today was about a woman who, I might get a little of this backwards. She talks about time she's having a bad day. She was really frustrated. And I think she works at college. She went in, she just wanted to kind of go in and get her class or her work over with. But she bumped into her dad, and who was like a coach there, I think. And they rarely ever actually bumped into each other there. But she happened to, and she wanted to kind of blow right by him and say, I'm having a bad day, I can't talk right now. But she stopped and they had this conversation. It turned out later that day, like, he went home and died of a heart attack. And that was the last time she ever saw him. And she was reflecting back on, what if I was so inside my own head, I just, said, I'm having a bad day, sorry, Dad, can't talk, and blew by him. Like, that would have been the last interaction I had with him. So that'll punch you in the gut right there. You read that one and tear up a little bit. I cry easily these days. So anyway, she talks about the importance of being present and to pass up those even seemingly inconsequential things and take for granted, the people we care about. So what are some ways you guys struggle being present?
So I think this is a silly example that kind of like permeates a lot of other things. But I never just sit and watch TV. I'm always doing something while I'm watching it. Even when I was little, like I would build like card houses and I would play solitaire. This is before phone, like everyone had a phone. So like actual playing cards. I always had the TV on while I was doing homework. Like I'm always have multiple kind of inputs going on at the same time. And even now, like really, really struggle to focus on one thing at a time. And so whether it's a conversation, whether it's a TV show, whether it's like books are the only thing I find that I can like just be doing one thing. Talking to my kids, like I have to like be really intentional about like put the phone down, put the whatever, and be like, yes, I am going to listen to you stumble through your story because I care, and not be. So I really struggle doing one thing at a time.
Yeah. I struggle not being guilty about when I'm being present with my family. Like for some reason, it's not all the time, but sometimes I have like guilt of, okay, I'm spending time with my family. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know this is important, but I've got this project I'm working on, or there's this other thing, this meeting coming up, or whatnot, and it's just it lurks, and I feel this incredible guilt of like. Then it goes guilt both ways. The guilt of, oh my God, I should be working on the thing, but at the same time, oh my God, I'm thinking about working on the thing, and my kids are here and they want to hang out with me.
Right.
Yeah, that one's hard. But this last week, as the weather is cooling down here in Arizona, we're trying to get all the pool time we can in. And I'm finding when I'm active with them and we're playing a game and roughhousing in the pool or whatever, like that is the one thing, it will clear my head of those things. And then I'm like so thankful for that time we had when I got out of the pool. And then I go back to existential angst. But for that hour, I'm present.
I think, yeah. And for me too, I try to be what I would call like yes dad. And so a lot of time, in the past, the kid would ask me to do something. I'd be like, no, I mean, I gotta do some chores around the house. I gotta do something. So now what I do is anytime they say, hey dad, can you play Legos with me? Yes, I can. And so even if it's for just a few minutes, I can play Legos, or I can do, or I can do this or that. So whenever it's possible, I say yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Rob, I really liked what you said too about that struck me as being in the pool. There's something I think about having our mind and bodies do engaged in the same thing, or even playing Legos. It's like your mind and it's a physical thing. Yeah. So I think that there's maybe something to be said for kind of that integration of mind and body, and what you're doing might be helpful.
Yeah. And I think back to your point about like the phone, like maybe that's our way of we're replacing the phone, but with something more healthy.
Yeah.
Always looking for something now.
It's like I'm a kinetic learner. Like I'm always like I love going to trainings and stuff when they would put Play-Doh and pipe cleaners and stuff on the table, so you can like do something, because I'm a tactile learner, kinetic learner stuff. So I need to be doing something with my hands, and I just need to see if I can correlate it with what I need to play Legos with my kids, so that I'm like doing something that's with them.
Yeah, I like that. Ooh, this was good. Good insights today, gang. Well, we have reached our time, but as always, really, really appreciate these conversations for the entire world to see. What is this time we're living in?
Love it.
But hey, if you are out there watching either live or you're watching this later being recorded, and you just want to come have these kinds of conversations in a non-live streamed, confidential environment where you can be yourself without judgment, without any kind of expectation, we really hope you will join us for one of our Explore Your Faith meetups. Right now we're doing those on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we're working on a Wednesday group. Of course, you can always watch this, but if you want to get involved, that's a great way to do that. And you can go to our website, socialthread.org, just fill out that get involved form, and we'll be in touch and kind of talk to you about what group what night might be the best for you to jump in on. But if that's not your thing, Robert's going to tell you other ways to support Social Thread and the work we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Social Thread is a nonprofit, so you can, of course, go to the website and make a tax-deductible donation at socialthread.org/support. And remember, if you're there, and if you, maybe you're not wanting to get involved, but you know someone who could really use a community to work out their faith on their own terms, then please point them to socialthread.org. They can get involved and be in a group just as soon as we can. So.
And when you show up to a group for your first time, you get one of these awesome stickers.
Ooh.
And if you're my friend, I left the t-shirts over there, but we send you a t-shirt. We got swag all over the place, and people love swag in the social threads. Anyway, thank you, Robert and Amy, and thanks everybody out there for watching, and we will see you next time.
Have a good one.
Okay, bye.